Want to be able to talk to you all just briefly on why in the world would the Dallas Cowboys draft a tight end and a wide receiver when those are skill positionings which one can say that we pretty much can do without. We have Amari Cooper, we have the emergence of Michael Gallup, as well as I guess the rotational piece of I guess Brown and some more cats out there. So my thing is, why would you draft a wide receiver? And if you look at the tight end, you can look at it from the tight end by committee. You had Schultz. You have the growth factor with the Blake Jarwins of the worlds and also Swain. So looking at some of the mock drafts out here, I'm seeing that they have us going tight end, second round, and Anthony Johnson. So I looked up their film and looked over a lot of things. As it relates to Jace, I like his skill set. I love his ability to capture the ball out in space, pluck the ball with his hands. I love that skill set that he got. I love all those abilities. But my only reservation would be the timing. I think that that's minimum of an impact because even if he's like one of those superb tight ends that can come into the league, it's still going to take about 2 to 3 years to develop. And that's the latest trend. I think that the Cowboys got a smaller window than what it appears to be because we got to figure out a way to pay Ezekiel. He's the wrecking ball or the wrecking force for this offense. And you got to get around to paying guys. I think that with the drafting philosophy will be from drafting from the inside out on the defensive side of the ball. That's just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. And when you try to do those things as relates to why would you draft a wide receiver and a tight end would be to just help out your bottom line. Now, we need to focus in on what this team really is. This is a run-first team. So, with that being said, Schultz, he should be able to be better this year because he's a blocking tight end. Damn good blocking tight end at that. So, if you look into those parameters and you say to yourself, okay, Schultz going to be better. I love the fact what Jarwin is bringing to the table. Unless you're planning on getting rid of Rico and you're planning on getting rid of Swain, then I don't see the point of going after Jace. That's just my notion. Or TJ Hawkinson. I know he's high on the board, but there's no way. There's no way he'll make it all the way to the latter part of the second round. If it's possible, it'll be crazy. But I don't see TJ Hawkinson waiting around to that time frame. Another thing that I would like to bring up, too, as it relates to the tight end play, remember, it's the third hardest position to learn in the National Football League because you got so many responsibilities as it relates to tight end play. Whether you're going to line in line, outside, can you block? Do you understand the blocking assignment? Can they line you up at H-back? Can they motion you out to the outer edges of a play? Can you play on the outside? Can you win your one-on-ones on a separation? And then on top of that, can you pick up the hot reads in the zones? There's so many things. You are the extension of the offensive lineman. Think about that. 5 down lineman, you might want to roll you over into the inside and be the 6th guy. So there's a lot of things coming into play as it relates to being a tight end in anybody's system. I don't know where a tight end just lacks a daisy in. And then, of course, the dying breed of fullbacks, tight ends, got to do so many things. Another thing that I want to bring up, too, appreciate everybody for being part of this thing, is the wide receiver play. Those are specialty positioning, meaning that we saw how much growth that my guy Michael Gallup had last year. But he didn't start coming along to the latter part. Remember what I was talking about. This team is a run-first team. So now that if you try to put out a new wide receiver out there, and they talking about Anthony Johnson from Buffalo. I think he played for Buffalo. MEAC, M-A-C. That's the conference he played in. Physical, 6'2", got the height, plucked the ball out of the sky, built built the part, looked like he can get off the jam and separation. But don't sleep on Cedric Wilson. We got our combinations already with Amari Cooper, Gallup. I don't know if Hearn's going to be able to come back. And I definitely don't know what they're going to do with Terrence Williams. And I guess you can say you can move on from Lance. What's my guy? Number 14, you can move on from him. But I'm saying this right now, that it's going to take time, even for Anthony Johnson to get into the mix. Although I like his skill set, but I think that this team is in desperate need of getting some more help on the defensive side of the ball. That's why I'm feeling, and I could be 1,000% wrong, but I'm looking at it from this aspect, guys. If we can shore up this defense, have the field shorter. We always talk about Dak Prescott comparable to a Russell Wilson, right? We talk about those things. You guys can agree we talk about Dak Prescott being comparable to a Russell Wilson. Although Russell Wilson can throw the ball just slightly better than Dak Prescott, he had the help of the defense. So if you shore up the defense, you get a greedy, I'm talking about a nasty space clogger safety who can go sideline to sideline and complement that with the Xavier Woods, then you have a better team on the defensive side of the ball. If you get a guy that can have a combination piece of helping out the Malik Collins of the world, I love what Antoine Barbecue Woods can do, but it's no level of how we can benefit better if we had a true, talking about a true defensive plug. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Appreciate you all for tuning in to the Nation, man. For those who just not tuning in, my name is Law Nation. We talk football. We talk the real around here. We ain't sugarcoating nothing. We're going to give you guys the real deal Holyfield. So with that being said, we got to figure out one way or another, Cowboy Nation, how we can figure out a way to booster and pump up this defense. Now, some of my contemporaries, they like to go with offensive linemen, which is cool. I agree. That's a positioning that you can say to yourself that we are in need of fixing. But if we can figure out a way to be, as fans, coaching of the team, then we can help this team out tremendously. Meaning kick the right tackle into the inside, let him play the left guard, and kick the left guard out to the outside, let him play right tackle. And we got a nasty team. Put it like this. I can go all the way back to 2015, if you guys know what I mean, about the La'el Collins. When La'el Collins played into the inside as the left guard, you guys remembered, right? There was highlights, baby. There was flat out highlights for La'el Collins. Name me, put it like this, name me 4 or 5 highlights that you can pull up now. You can't find any. You can't find any on this offensive line. But I will say this, Travis Frederick healthy, Zach Martin healthy, and the growth factor between Connor Williams and he's going to play beside Travis Frederick opposed to playing beside Joe Looney, it could be real. It could be real in those factors, man. Let me see. Shout out to y'all, man. Thank y'all. I can't read your comments, but I see you guys up in the box, man. I'm live on my OBS, but we're gonna try to get things going, man. I'm actually in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm at the Westons right now. Let me show you guys. They got the little NFL salute to some of the Mississippi greatest quarterbacks who were born in Mississippi or close to Mississippi. Or I guess you could say players that played in Mississippi. There's Jerry Rice or what have you. There's Brett Favre. There's my guy Walter Payton. Yes, it's the sweetness. And then we already know that there's Eli, and Peyton Manning and Archie Manning. The Manning brothers, baby. Yeah. So let me know, man, what you guys feel, man. Let me see if I can read you something. Miles says, sign Earl Thomas, cut Jeff Heath, draft a tight end in the 2nd round. My thing is, Miles, is this right here. I really don't think that Jeff Heath is cuttable, and I don't see the point of cutting him, basically. Technically, I think that Jeff Heath is a damn good player. I would challenge anybody who can say who's better than Jeff Heath coming off the bench as a rotational guy. I really think that Jeff Heath should be a rotational piece, in my humble opinion. Yes, indeed, man. What's up, man? Cox, what's good, man? Law Nation, do you honestly believe that this team can win a Super Bowl? My thing is, and I can't read it because it's going too far. It's too fast for me to read from far away from here. I see it now. Person making football decisions, just not financial decisions, with Jimmy Johnson. The old talk track of do we believe that Jerry Jones, I got to say Jerry Jones, can we win a Super Bowl with Jerry Jones naturally without the influences of Jimmy Johnson? It have not been a point yet that Jerry Jones won a Super Bowl without Jimmy Johnson players. That's a proven fact, right there. It's not a theory, it's not an opinion, that is cold, hard facts. That Jerry Jones never won a Super Bowl without Jimmy Johnson influence. I agree. Now, is there a way that we can win a Super Bowl? In 2007, we had a damn strong enough chance. In 2014, I think that team was strong enough. And you probably can argue with the other team. I forgot what year that was, but when we lost to the playoffs, I guess against the Vikings, you can say that team could possibly. In 2016, our team still had a little holes in there. We wasn't efficient all the way on defense. And defense win championships. So anybody say, okay, 2016, we had a chance? No, they flying kites. He didn't have a chance to win the Super Bowl, but we had a chance to get some playoff experience. So what I'm saying is, and it's a long way to get around to the question. In 1995, the last Super Bowl we won, there was a statement made by Troy Aikman. He said that we got to win in spite of the coaching. We got to win in spite of what the coaching is calling and what the owner is doing, basically. That was from Troy Aikman. There's leadership, there's growth within the organization. What I'm saying is, if this year start off flat, then this team, it's a team game. That's the difference between any other sport. Football is a total team game, unless you play for the Patriots or something. They do some crazy stuff with the way they maneuver their team. But what I'm saying is, this team is quite possible if the leadership aspect comes from Dak Prescott enough to elevate everybody, and on top of that with Ezekiel Elliott to elevate everybody, no off the field issues, no injuries to happen, then we have a strong chance of winning the Super Bowl. If this defense can come around and get some more turnovers and takeaways. Yep. This is from my guy EJ, says the 07 was the best team. Yeah, it was the best closest team, because the 2007 team was so close because of the fact that they had both sides of the ball. They had defense and they had offense. They had the D Wares of the world. They had a guy named Anthony Henry, I believe. He had like 5 or 6 interceptions in one season. Ken Hamlin had multiple interceptions. I could be off a little bit on the years, but the defensive side of the ball wasn't suspect, basically. They had both sides of the ball. Offense was able to score at will, and the defense did a hell of a good job, too. So, and shout out to Wade Phillips for that. That's his underrated skill set. You know, Wade Phillips can coach some damn good defense or get the defense in the top tier range. It's just him being a head coach is just not a good situation. But back to tight ends. If we go and draft a tight end in the second round, then that means we gave up the opportunity for Rico, and we gave up on Swain and the development of those guys, and we put in a placeholder on Blake Jarwin, and we're scratching our heads to the Schultz of the world, because it's a high draft pick. And normally when you draft that high, you want that player to be out there on the field, right? And if we draft wide receiver, that means that, hey, and this is just speculation, this is from the draft boards or what everybody's saying. If we go and draft a wide receiver, that means that we are doing this. Yeah. I'm not even live anymore. Still live? Let me know if I'm still live. So if we draft wide receiver, that means that we are doing this right here. We are, I'm on my phone, so my battery getting low on me. If we draft wide receiver, that means we're moving on. We're moving on from Terrence Williams. We're moving on from the Allen Hearns of the world. We're moving on from Cole Beasley. That's what that means. That's writing on the wall. That's what that would mean. If we draft a wide receiver in the second or third round, then they're saying that they're moving on from Cole Beasley. They're moving on from the Allen Hearns of the world, and they're giving up on the Terrence Williams because, you know, they figure they can find a better product out there on the field. And it's better, trust me, it's better to put that wide receiver out there on the front end, and let him grow so that he'll be ready during the latter part. I think that this is still a playoff team. Can anybody convince me otherwise? Let me know. Let me know whether or not this is not a playoff team or not. I think that this is a playoff team. Still a playoff team. I think we can get to the playoff again. My thing is, now that we are in the playoff and we got a taste of blood, I'm gonna say this before I run. Now that we got a taste of blood, now that we understand what it takes to win a playoff game, this team, this collective young team, now we got to be hungry enough to say, you know what? Damn it! This time we're here, we're gonna put every effort in there to get some turnovers, takeaways, and when we get the ball, to score. And if that's taking better chances and stronger chances down the field, then yes, there's just zero excuses this year. Zero. You got to be hungry. You got to want it. You got to have that fire and desire to go out there and get it. I know a lot of people say, "Hey, Law, this team is trash," or "This team can win." Some people believe this team is trash. Some people believe that this team can go undefeated, don't even lose a game. So somewhere in between trash and greatness is this team. And I think that if we can put some pieces together, one explosive guy on the offensive side of the ball, we two explosive guys away. One explosive guy on the offensive side of the ball and one more explosive guy on the defensive side of the ball. It can make wonders for this team. Oh, Law, where are you getting this information from? Name me the Kansas City Chiefs, what they would do without a Tyreek Hill. I'm waiting. What would the Saints look like without a Kamara? You see what I'm saying? Now we're talking explosiveness. No, you know what I mean? The LA Rams, when they went and got Brandon Cook, how explosive that was helped them out. And Cooper Kupp, of course, he did a great job. And of course, everybody gonna go back to the staple piece, but we're gonna remove them out. And that's the Patriots. The Patriots is the Patriots way. Let the Patriots do Patriots type of things. But I'm talking about our team. We one or two explosive guys away. And in this draft and this free agency, it can give us those explosiveness. Think about this. Earl Thomas on his team. Don't you think we'll be better? He'll been able to recognize some of the plays that was out there against the LA Rams. So it's some things we got to look at, Cowboy Nation. That's all the time that I have for today. I will be live again. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the content. Let me know how you guys feel about everything. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Peace.